Welcome back to this video session once again. And my dear friends, today we have to solve 4 questions for you. And that question is based on the integration by parts. And all these questions are already written on your screen here. You can see here, I'm just going to start the solutions and I'm 100% sure I cannot disappoint you. You may learn here a very good idea how to solve such a kind of question with the help of integration by parts. So please stay with me and please give me at least 15 to 20 minutes of your precious time. Just I'm going to start for you. My first question you can see here, x times sine 3x times dx. So just see here the solution number 1, the integration x times sine 3x times dx. So my dear friends, we have to use here the integration by part, and for that we have a very good idea, and that idea is related to the ILATE function. What ILATE instance? ILATE, L-A-T-E. My dear friends, you know I instance for inverse function. Inverse function. That is not here. L instance for logarithm. That is also not here. A instance for algebraic function. Algebraic function, and that is your x. T for trigonometric function. Trigonometric function, and that is also here. And E for exponential function. Exponential function. So my friends, we have to use this concept, and you just see here. In the case of ILATE, you know, algebra comes before trigonometry, and you have to follow this order, because the letter A comes before the letter T, and so my dear friends, you have to consider x as your first function, and sine 3x as a second function. So now the answer will be x, you know, the first function will come outside the integration, and you have to integrate sine 3x times dx. Negative sign, now you have to differentiate the first function, and so you know the x is your first function, so you have to differentiate dx with respect to x here, and once again you have to integrate sine 3x times dx. And once again you have to integrate all these function with this dx. So now I'm going to write once again these equations here. X integration sine 3x times dx minus integration, you know the differentiation of x is nothing but 1. Once again the integration sine 3x times dx, and once again this times dx. Now my duty is to evaluate the integration of sine 3x. But you know here the angle of this sine is 3x. We have to do the integration with respect to x. And so, my dear friends, the differentiation of 3x is not given here. So let first 3x equals t. So now 3 times dx equals dt. So dx will be 1 by 3 dt. So now you can write here x integration sine t times dt upon 3 minus integration, the integration of this sine 3x here can be written as sine t times dt upon 3, and once again the part of dx, and dx is nothing but dt upon 3. Okay, so my dear friends, now you can write here x, and the integration of sine t, you know, the by 3 will come out of the integration, and integration of sine t into dt is nothing but negative of cos t. Okay, negative sign. This is 1 by 3, 1 by 3, so you know 1 by 9 here. And once again, the integration sine t into dt is nothing but minus of cos t times dt. Okay, now you can write here, this is x upon 3, and you can substitute now the value of t in this equations, cos 3x, because t equals 3x, and minus 1 by 9. And so, my dear friends, minus and minus will come here positive, right? And the integration of cos t into dt is nothing but sine t, and plus the constant of integration c. Okay, so now you can write here negative sign, x divided by 3 times cos 3x plus 1 by 9 sine t, you can substitute t here, sine 3x, and plus c. So this is the answer of these questions. Okay, now I am going to start question number 2, yani solution number 2, and that is, the questions is here, you see here. Okay, I equals integration x squared times e to the power x times dx. Just see here, this is your question. Question number 2, right? Once again, we have to start for ILATE rule. Okay, here ILATE, remember, ILATE, right? So algebra comes before the exponential part here. Okay, and so, my dear friends, we have to consider here x squared is nothing but first function, and e to the power is nothing but second function. Okay, so once again you can write here the x squared times e to the power x times dx, negative sign, differentiation of dx squared with respect to x, for integration e to the power x times dx, and now this is dx. Okay, so you can write here x squared, and the integration of e to the power x is nothing but the simple e to the power x, negative sign. The differentiation of x squared with respect to the x, you may write here 2x times integration of e to the power x, nothing but the e to the power x. Write down the integration, once again here to dx. Okay, now my dear friends, you can write here x squared e to the power x minus 2 is the outside of integration, and once again you have to start x times e to the power x times dx. Okay, now you have to once again apply here the ILATE rule for the integration by parts. Okay, so here once again you have to consider x as your first function, okay, and e to the power x as a second function, right? So your answer will be x squared times e to the power x minus 2 square bracket, write down the first function outside the integration, and once again e to the power x times dx minus the differentiation of x with respect to x, and once again the integration e to the power x times dx, and write down once again dx for these integrations. Okay, close the bracket. So my dear friends, you can write here x squared times e to the power x minus 2 x, or you know the integration of e to the power x is nothing but e to the power x minus, okay, the differential coefficient of dx by x is 1, so integration, this is 1 times this is e to the power x and times dx. Okay, square brackets close. Now you can write here x squared times e to the power x minus 2 integration x e to the power x minus the integration of e to the power x is nothing but e to the power x. Okay, and now there is constant for all, integration constant as c. Okay, so difference, you can write here x squared times e to the power x minus of twice x times e to the power x and plus twice of e to the power x and plus c. Okay, so now you can write this expression in the simplest form by taking a common factor e to the power x from all of three terms. So you can write here e to the power x as a common factor, then you have x squared, that is here, minus 2x is here, and plus 2 is here, okay, and plus c. And this is the simplest way to write the answer for these questions. Okay, now I am going to solve third question for you. Okay, the question number third is here, I equals x cos inverse x divided by 1 minus x squared under root times dx. Okay, now see the solution number third. Your equation is here, integral x cos inverse x divided by root over 1 minus x squared times dx. My dear friends, just see this question. We have to take precautions to apply integration apart because here there are three functions here, right? One is the algebraic, other is the trigonometric, and the third one is under root. Okay, so before applying the integration by parts rule here, we have to think some other way. And first of all, we have to think here the substitution method, so that you have to convert this equation into only two functions. Okay, so that you can apply ILATE rule very easily. Now, the part under this integration means integrants is a complicated one. Okay, so first of all, we have to simplify it. Just see here. We are going to take cos inverse x is nothing but t. Okay, if you differentiate it with respect to t, what will you get? You get 1 by root over 1 minus x squared times dx by dt, and that equals dt by dt, and that equals 1. Okay, so my dear friends, you can write here dx by root over 1 minus x squared is nothing but dt. Okay, so you can use this thoughts here, the integration, okay, dx divided by 1 minus x squared can be written as here dt. Okay, cos inverse x you have considered here t. Now, what is the value of this x? Okay, you may write here, since cos inverse x is nothing but t, so if you apply cos of cos inverse x both side, then this cos and this cos inverse reciprocal to each other, you already know. Okay, and so my dear friends, you can write here x is nothing but cos of t. Okay, now just put this value x inside the integration here, and this will become cos of t. Now your question looks like very simple, t times cos of t times dt. And now my dear friends, you have to use here ILATE rule. Okay, now t comes in the algebra category and cos t comes in the trigo category. So this is your first function and this is your second function. Okay, so my dear friends, now I am going to write this function in this way. The t will come out of the integration and you have to integrate cos t with respect to t here, and minus the differentiation of this first function means dt upon dt. Once again the integration cos of t times dt, and integrate this function with respect to t once again. Okay, now I am just going to take and the another page, right? So my dear friends, you know this is t. Integration of cos t is nothing but sin t, you know, and minus integration dt upon dt, that is 1, times integration of cos t here. Okay, you know this is sin t times dt. Okay, now the t sine t minus the integration of sine t into dt, and you know this is nothing but minus of cos t and plus there is a constant of integration, don't forget. Okay, so my dear friends, you know your t is nothing but cos inverse x. Okay, so our prime duty is to change the variable before writing the answer. Okay, so t is nothing but cos inverse x times sine of cos inverse x minus and minus, after multiplication it will become positive, and this is cos of cos inverse x and plus c. Okay, so my friends, now these equations can be converted in this way. This is cos inverse x times sine of cos inverse x and plus cos of cos inverse x. This cos and this cos inverse is reciprocal to each other, you know. So the answer will be plus x and plus c. Okay. So my dear friends, you can also change this sine or cos inverse x. Okay. Because, or you may not be converted. You may write this is the final answer for these questions. Okay. If you want to consider sine cos inverse x in another way, you may write it. Okay. But I am just going to left it because this is very simple to convert in the another form, because any one of the answer of these questions can be converted into several forms. You may write answer of any questions in the 7 forms. So it doesn't matter. This is your final answer. Okay. Now I am going to solve the another question for you, and that is question number 4. And the fourth question is what? The fourth question is nothing but I equals x log ex whole squared times dx. Just see here. The question is here integral x times log ex whole squared times dx. Okay, so my dear friends, you have to once again, this is a very new question for you, and once again we have to use ILATE function here. Okay, so just see here, algebra, this is the logarithm L and this is the algebra. Okay, so logarithm log ex in this questions comes before the algebra, so this is the first function for you, and algebraic one, this is the x, this is the second function. Okay, so now the integration will be log ex whole squared is the first function, x times dx. Write down once again, this is a complicated one. So once again I equals log ex whole squared is the first function, it may be the outside of the integration. Now integrate x times dx, negative sign, the differentiation of this logarithm, so this is nothing but dy dx of log ex whole squared, and once again integration x times dx. Okay, now see here, this is nothing but log ex whole squared, and the integration of x is nothing but x squared by 2, negative sign, integration, you have to differentiate log ex whole square, and so my dear friends, d by dx of log, not dx, but you have to differentiate by log ex. Okay, and then once again log ex whole square and times d of log ex divided by dx, and once again integration x times dx and once again dx. Okay, because you know you can differentiate log x with respect to log x, because here the log x whole to the power 2, and once again you have to log x with respect to the x, so you have to reuse here the chain rule. Okay, so now the expression will look like log ex whole square and times x squared by 2 minus, this is nothing but 2 log ex times the differentiation of this is 1 by log 1 by x. Okay, and times integration of this x is nothing but x squared by 2, and this is times dx. Now you can cancel x squared by this x. You can cancel this 2 by this 2. Okay. So now the answer is x squared by 2 times log ex whole square, negative sign, integration log e to the power x times x times dx. Okay. Now we have to integrate this function once again by the ILATE rule here. So my dear friends, you can write here x squared by 2 log ex whole square, negative sign, square bracket, and here once again log ex will be the first function, so integration of x dx minus the differentiation of this log x is nothing but 1 by x times integration of x dx is nothing but x squared by 2 times dx. Okay, so the answer will become x squared by 2 and log ex whole square minus the integration of this x is nothing but log ex times x squared by 2, negative sign, just see here this x will cancel, so this is the minus half integration x times dx. Okay, and now you can write here x squared by 2 and this is log ex whole square minus just x squared by 2 and this is log ex, and this minus will be positive, so this is half, or integration of x dx is nothing but x squared by 2 and plus there is a constant of integration. Okay, so my dear student, the final answer of this question will be x squared by 2 and this is nothing but log ex whole square times x squared by 2 times log ex plus 1 by 4 x square and plus c. So you have seen here all the solution of these 4 questions by using ILATE rule. So I am sure that now you can apply ILATE rule for each and every kind of functions. In these questions we have used algebraic, trigonometric and exponential and logarithm. And that's why these are all the 4 questions already selected for you, right? So I hope you enjoy to see this video. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe it, please motivate us, and please like and share to all of your friends. Okay, take care and thank you very much once again. Goodbye and bye bye. Okay.